Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Lewis Brown. This is Dr. Shemai Brown of the Brown Foundation. I'm going to address something here today that I think needs to be addressed here right now, dealing with the comments made by one Mr. George Zimmerman, who shot young Trayvon Martin, and he's claiming self-defense. Now, Mr. Zimmerman is pointing the finger at President Obama. Well, Mr. Zimmerman, I usually don't take sides in anything, but I can assure you the president had nothing to do with this. He didn't start any race issues. He didn't start the race issues back in the 50s. He damn sure didn't start them in the 60s. And he didn't start what you did. He didn't make you go out there and shoot that young man. He didn't make you go out there and follow that young man after the police 911 call told you not to get out your vehicle. You got out there anyway, talking about they always trying to get away. You brought some of this on yourself, and now you want to try to change the script, point the finger at the president, and the president did nothing to you. All he did was express his opinion. No one told you to get out your car and go and confront that young man. Quite naturally, someone come and confront you and you don't know who they are and they following you. You thinking they're going to hurt you. You're going to defend yourself. I challenge you, Mr. Zimmerman. Jam a tomcat in the corner. The biggest coward you jam him in the corner will come out and fight you. Even though they may not want to, they will fight for their life. A baby will fight for his life if you try to do something harm to that child. You need to grow up. You did something very stupid. You took a human life. And then you had these people get on there with that fake ass stuff talking about you saved them from a burning car. You've been arrested twice already, to my knowledge, or probably more, for domestic violence against your so-called girlfriend. Your wife left you. You need to grow up. You need to grow up to the point where you are a man and face your responsibility like a man. The jury may have acquitted you. The federal government, Department of Justice may have acquitted you, but God has not said you're going to walk scot-free. You still got to answer to the Holy Trinity. And I've seen no one commit murder, take a life that they didn't give, and God say, well done. It's all over with, well done. I'm not taking up for anybody's side here, but I think there's enough flapjapping on your side where you need to shut up. Because all you're doing is making a bad situation worse and making people look at you like the idiot that you really are. You got no right to blame the president for anything. You should blame yourself. And more importantly, you should blame your parents for getting you out of the trouble that you got into, where you should have learned from your first mistake and stop using your parents' name to get you behind out of trouble and start being a man and stand on your own 2 feet. And stop the bull. That's not going to bring that kid back. You took an innocent life. What did you gain out of that? What, you were the captain of the self-appointed captain of a neighborhood watch. They always get away. What day? What day were you referring to? African Americans? That all of us commit crimes? Or were you referring to the young thugs like Trayvon Martin? He wasn't a thug to begin with. Man had problems in school. Yeah, we all had that. But what, your record is so squeaky clean you were never expelled from any school? You were never suspended? You just were a victim of circumstance. The gun magically fell in your hand. He armed himself with the concrete, and you had to arm yourself with a weapon, and you shot that young man into his life. I don't see how you can really sleep at night. I really don't. See, and this foolishness what you're doing, blaming the president of the United States, hey, that's not going to get you any popularity votes. It's really going to make people see what in fact you really are, a racist. Because if you cared anything about anyone, you would shut your mouth and nobody wouldn't hear a peep out of you. You would die off in the sunset and just fade away. You don't have people keep bragging about when they've done crimes unless they did them on purpose. If you really want people to accept you as a human being and forgive you, and most importantly, get yourself back in God's good graces. Yes, I don't know your spiritual walk with God, but I can tell you right now, based upon your actions and based upon the way you are as a person, you don't have a spiritual walk with God. Because if you did, killing wouldn't be on your mind. If you did, you wouldn't be riding around here with a gun. If you did, you wouldn't abuse women. If you did, you wouldn't think that what you did is right and the president is wrong. Why don't you tell him to his face he was wrong? Why don't you go to the White House and tell him to his face, you're wrong? Why don't you go tell him to his face, instead of hiding behind the videos and putting stuff up there like this other idiot from Louisiana, the governor, standing up there with posters up there called about a lame duck leader. I'm going to get to that in a minute, another video. Why don't you go to him and tell him yourself, have a one-on-one with him, and tell him yourself he was wrong. And that you were right for killing an innocent person who was unarmed. What you need to do, son, is grow up. You're not God. You need to grow up. And you got so many people, you and people like you, and some of these rogue cops who have been going around here beating people up, have divided this country the way it is. Don't blame President Obama, Bush, Reagan, Carter, Clinton, or whoever for your stupid actions and actions of your peers. Take responsibility for what you've done. If you've done something to offend someone, you need to take responsibility for it. If I offend anyone, I go right to them. If they let me know I've offended them, I'll tell them I'm sorry. But in your case, if I've offended you with this video, you needed a wake-up call, son. And the wake-up call you need is to realize your name is like the name Wyatt Earp. The name Earp just don't mean anything to anybody anymore. You've played out and you've been played. You need to get a blessing from God and ask God to change you. He may be talking to you and you just don't hear him because you're so backwards. You need to get a change in your heart, son. And you need to change, and change immediately. God is not pleased with them comments you've been making, and the American public ain't pleased with them. And you better worry about more about pleasing God than the American public. You better change, my friend, and change quickly.